Mugluck here, and I make concise, spoiler-free game reviews that help you decide if you want to buy something without spoiling the game for you. This is Homeworld 3, a 3D real-time strategy game. It is available on PC and is rated E for everyone 10 and up. In full disclosure, I received this game for free as part of my work, but the goal of this review is to determine whether or not this game is worth its $60 price tag for you. The game's setting, with no spoilers past the tutorial. In the game's campaign mode, you follow the story of Imogen, the navigator of a mothership. As the navigator, she is plugged into the vessel directly to control the many systems of the ship. Her mentor was the previous navigator from some of Homeworld's earlier titles and is currently missing. Additionally, someone has found how to weaponize hyperspace travel. Imagine someone opening a wormhole connecting a nearby star to just above your house. Bad time. Your ship has been tasked with going radio silent, finding out who is doing this, and stopping them. The general gameplay. Homeworld 3 has 3 gameplay modes at this time. The campaign, where you play through the story of the characters just mentioned. It has cinematics and full voice acting. In each mission of the campaign, you will have various tasks to complete, sometimes to find an item, sometimes to take out enemies. But in all of them, you have to keep your mothership alive. Your mothership builds all of the smaller ships you use. It is like your core, nexus, or command center, depending on the RTSs you've played before. While playing through levels, you keep any ships and resources from previous levels in the campaign as you move on to the next level, so it is very rewarding keeping ships alive through fights instead of having to rebuild them. The second gameplay mode is Skirmish. This basically drops you into a map against your choice of a human or AI opponent, and you fight to the death. You each have a mothership type unit that is the win condition for the opponent. You will be trying to quickly grab resources, produce ships, find the enemy, and overwhelm them before they do the same to you. In regards to the AI for the game mode, it comes in easy, normal, or hard settings. After I beat the campaign, I tried playing a skirmish against a normal AI, and I was completely overwhelmed, so it is a decent challenge and step up from the campaign mode. The third game mode is War Games. War Games is like a mini campaign with a touch of roguelike thrown into it. You take a carrier, it's like a mini mothership, but same general features, and play 3 maps back to back. During them, you occasionally get upgrades to choose from that are different each time. Maybe double range for your frigates, or double damage but lower hit points on your strike fighters, etc. While on these war game maps, the enemy starts out passive, then lightly attacking, then attacking with stronger and stronger units endlessly, so your goal is to accomplish the mission objectives and move on as quickly as you can, while also grabbing as many resources as you can before you get overwhelmed. After finishing a war game, win or lose, you get XP based on performance that will level up your profile and unlock other types of fleets you can play the games with, each with different strengths and weaknesses. Game length. How much gameplay do you get for your purchase? Homeworld 3 took me about 9 hours of gameplay to clear the campaign, after which I started trying out the skirmish and war games modes. These are, of course, endlessly replayable, and you can keep doing these for as long as you are enjoying them. Comparisons to other games. I have not played the previous Homeworld games, but have played dozens of other RTS games over the decades. This plays similarly, but the major changes are that your base, the mothership, is mobile, so everything you have can move as needed. The only stationary installations you use are turrets that you can anchor onto things, but these can be folded up and relocated as well if needed. The other major difference is the third dimension. A seasoned RTS veteran will find most of the controls the standard for the genre, but there are a few extra you must get used to. If you click your units and tell them to move to a point in space, you have an extra press to tell them if you want them to go 5 feet or 5 miles in that direction. The War Games mode specifically reminded me greatly of Planetary Annihilation's Galactic War mode, with the unlocking new starting loadouts and playing a game mode to win multiple maps back to back. The details. Graphics. Absolutely stunning. More than once, I thought I was watching a cutscene, then the black bars pulled away and I realized I was looking at actual gameplay and didn't realize it.
Oh
dang, I thought this was a
Fleet
cinematic.
Control systems loadout.
Sound and music. The music of the game is incredible, especially at climactic moments in the game's story. The sound design was also great, with impressive audio cues for when units were under attack.
Caution, resource controller taking damage.
For example, it would sometimes say that your resource collectors are under attack, naming the specific unit, or it might say Group 2 is taking losses, referencing your own control groups, which I had never heard before in an RTS. Controls. Homeworld 3 is played with mouse and keyboard. As an experienced RTS player, I was able to do most of the basic controls right away, but had to learn a few new ones related to the 3-dimensional space movement. Saving system. In campaign mode, the game auto-saves regularly, and you can also perform a manual save at any time. In the other game modes, skirmish versus AI, skirmish versus players, or war games, you cannot save. Content creator concerns. 1. I streamed my entire playthrough on Twitch and YouTube and uploaded the entire thing to our Mucklet Plays YouTube channel and did not experience any muted VODs, but I had one copyright claim on YouTube for some of the music included in a single campaign cinematic. So a small heads up if you intend to stream it as well. Do I have anything negative to say? Only that I was sad that I reached the end of the campaign. 9 hours certainly isn't bad, but it caught me by surprise, and I wish it was longer. Additionally, if you haven't previously played the other Homeworld games, some of the context of the story may be lost on you, as it was on me. Final thoughts. Despite not grasping all of the context of the campaign, I still enjoyed it and I got the gist of the narrative. The graphics of the game were gorgeous, the sound fantastic, and the controls were pretty good. Almost all of the controls I intuitively reach for as someone who's played other RTS games did work. I just had to learn a few additional ones for 3D maneuvering. I also enjoyed the War Games mode, though I wish it went on for a bit longer. As mentioned before, my closest comparison for this is the Planetary Annihilation's Galactic War, but that goes on for dozens of levels, whereas the War Games mode in Homeworld 3 ends after 3 maps. Maybe in a future patch they can expand upon that, but it was still fun. Originally, I played this game as part of a 2-hour sponsored stream, but I couldn't put it down and felt driven to finish the campaign and try all the other game modes out and keep playing it. My overall experience with the game was having a lot of fun, and it was a bug-free experience despite playing it on launch day. I think it meets the requirements for a $60 title, though I would be thrilled even more if they add more levels to War Games in the future now that the infrastructure is already in place. This video was not sponsored, so if you enjoyed playing it, please consider hitting that like button to help us out with the YouTube algorithm and subscribe for more content. If you'd like to see more of my playthrough of Homeworld 3, I'll include a link to that playlist from our other channel down below. Subscribe there too. As always, a massive thank you to our dear patrons who make content like this possible. If you'd like to become a supporter and earn early access, there is a link to that in the description. Happy space battles!